Hey, welcome back. Lots to talk about in the world of politics. Obviously, the Sunday before Super Tuesday, and breaking news on the campaign trail. Arizona Governor Jan Brewer has announced that she is endorsing Mitt Romney this morning. So, of course, who do we turn to? The man himself. John Dadian joins us this morning. Hey, let's talk about this breaking news. First of all, Jan Brewer making that big announcement this morning. Well, what do you think was her method in doing this today?
Well, it certainly helps. Again, there are still some undecided voters going to the polls on Tuesday, so every bit helps. Now, having said that, most of the polls show Romney pretty substantially ahead in Arizona, so it's not a game changer per se, but it clearly helps. Now, keep in mind, she has several reasons for doing this. Yes, the basic reason is to help the candidate, but also she has a constituency also, and there's a lot of Mormons that are her constituents, so she's sending a signal.
Okay, let's talk about Michigan, because obviously the spotlight has been on Michigan the last few days. For people who haven't been following it as much as you, how would you kind of break down what's happening there, and what people are saying about both Santorum and Mitt Romney this morning?
Well, the poll's showing that it's neck and neck between Romney and Santorum. And my definition of neck and neck is a couple polls show Romney up by 1 or 2 points, so Santorum up by 1 or 2 points. But as I've said several times on this set, they don't take into consideration the margin of error. You've got to take that in. So basically, it is a tie. We're really not sure who's ahead. Here's the interesting thing that I think, and you reported this on your news this morning. You have Santorum and Romney campaigning hard in Michigan, but Gingrich is in California, and he's not here even raising money. So does that mean that he's kind of given up? I think that's a pretty strong sign.
The primary here is until June. Is it June 5th?
June 5th is California.
So that is an interesting move.
Well, the event this weekend, which I'm missing actually, and I'm a delegate, is the California State Republican Convention.
Sure.
So he has a larger audience there. But yeah, I would have been. He's pretty much Gingrich is up in Georgia, so he'll win that one on Super Tuesday. That's not this Tuesday.
Let's talk about President Obama this morning raising reportedly $4 million in Florida. That was a big headline on Thursday. We've kind of, haven't really been talking about his campaign trail too much, but that made headlines. What's your take on that?
Well, it's interesting on that. I've been following the presidential fundraising closely, and actually he's behind his schedule where he was 4 years ago as a candidate. So what does that mean? I'm not sure, but they are talking about their goals. Just their goals are in the $700 million range for the campaign, and possibly, shall I say the B word, possibly they're shooting for $1 billion to raise money just for that one campaign.
How would you what would you say about President Obama's campaigning right now?
Oh, he's focused. He's very focused like a laser, and he realizes that this is not a done deal, and he does not want to be in the history books as several are as one-term president. So they are about I'd say no longer than about 3 months ago, they really realized that this is a real campaign, that one of these Republicans will be serious, and they're taking it serious.
President Clinton changed the success of Democrats as being, a recent 2-term Democratic president. So there's some, before that it had been a long time, so there's some precedents for him. Let's talk, it's Oscar Day. Of course,
it is.
Oscar night. So let's talk about...
What does that have to do with politics?
Well, we'd like to know, if you were going to give out, let's start with Best Actor. Who would be the best actor in the political scene?
World.
Hands down, no contest, it would be Mitt Romney for his best performance as the impersonation of a conservative.
Okay, very nice, very nice. Let's do Best Director.
Best director would be Ron Paul for taking his direction from his supporters in the Libertarian Party and staying true to their goals, even though he comes out with some wacky foreign policy.
Court, you got one? Was it Best Screenplay?
How about Best Producer?
Best Producer,
we can go with that.
Best Producer would be a tie between Newt Gingrich and Rick Santorum for giving us the best Republican primary I've seen almost in my lifetime. A lot of excitement there. It's their production.
And they've gone back and forth.
And they've spent a lot of money, which is interesting because Obama's got all this war chest that he doesn't have to spend right now, which will be interesting and an advantage. Don't you think it's an advantage?
Yes and no. Clearly it's an advantage without a doubt. But again, as you've heard me say many times, both in the presidential and down to our local mayor race, is once it shifts to the general, it's a completely different race. You allocate your funds differently, you allocate your strategy differently. So once we have a Republican nominee and it's a one-on-one, then you'll see a different race.
Let's talk about the local mayor declaring an end in the city's budget deficit this week. That's a big announcement. Do you think that that was accurate, or do you think that that was politically motivated, or all of the above?
all of the above, because when I heard that, the first thing I thought of, and then when I read the articles after that announcement, they actually, I guess the mayor and his staff joked that it was similar to George Bush declaring victory. I don't know if that's a good analogy that you want to make. I don't know if you want to make that comparison yourself.
Who joked on his staff? Who joked about that, do you know?
It was in some reports that they were joking at the press conference about that. Okay. I think the mayor himself actually might have mentioned it. So, you know, the budget is paper. You always got to be careful. Believe me, I've been in the public sector. You got to be careful when you're talking about numbers. They can come back to bite you. You know, it might look good now, but we've seen how quickly it can switch with our economy.
Oh yeah, and they get shaved off all of a sudden.
And there's a lot of, you know, again, a famous cliche, you know, how I love my cliches, the devil's in the details. You know, there's a lot that's happening with our economy that's out of the mayor's hands, such as the good news, you know, TOT, the hotels are up, et cetera. But then again, libraries are still closed. Certain things are still not as open as they were just a few years ago.
All right, John Dadian, we'll be talking to you, I'm sure, on Tuesday.
Tuesday's a big day.
Super Tuesday.
All right,
Thanks,
John,
John.
thanks so much.